All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Saving 22 podcast. If you do not know, I am switching from Mind Over Matter to Saving 22, directly targeting a veteran audience now. This is for veterans. This is for people who are with veterans, who have veterans near them, just trying to understand the veteran mind and help save 22 lives a day, because that's how many veterans take their life each day. So if you're new, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. If you have been supporting me this far, thank you. There is a link below to the Mind Over Matter episode I had with Tristan, the guest we have on this show. It'll be in the description. And then there is a new shop for the Saving 22 merchandise that is also below. So don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I look forward to seeing you in the episode. Welcome to the Saving 22 podcast, a podcast for veterans. I'm your host, Trevor Blazik. Let's get into the episode. All righty. Welcome back, everybody, on Saving 22 podcast. We're doing episode 1 or 2. Not sure which way I'm going to post these. Recorded one yesterday, so who knows. But we got Tristan back. He was on Mind Over Matter, episode 28. That link will be down below. Honestly, we're probably just going to hop right to it. And if you guys want to know further about his background, that'll be down below. Just check that out, just so that we don't have to go through everything again. But yeah, man, excited to have you back. How are we doing today? How's life been for the past year and a half, year and some change since we talked?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me back on, man. It's an honor, and life has been, to say the least, a roller coaster, bro. But I can say, quite honestly, nothing but gratitude now where I'm at in my life and moving forward. But man, was it not easy to get to this spot, right? Since we last talked, even I was doing good. Like business was doing good. I was still active duty, getting ready to transition out and all that. Was going through a divorce as well. That was, stressful, as you would imagine. And, it, here I am now, like out of the Marine Corps after 11 years of service, bro, and it was not an easy transition out at all. Like I felt a lot of displacement. I got depressed as soon as I got out. Yeah, man, it's been crazy, but here we are now. Freaking been out for over a year already, dude. Time flies, and yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now, though, man. As we talked about it. I got my diagnosis through the VA. A lot of stuff, man. So
Yeah, so just because for my transition, I was getting medically discharged. You decided to end your contract.
yeah,
That was it.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
were you doing your VA stuff while you were in, or did you do that after you got out?
So I actually did a 6-month skill bridge program when I got out. So I couldn't start that process until you can't start until you're at least 6 months from your EAS or whatever. So I actually started it in August. So I was already out of the Marine Corps, but October was my actual end of active duty service, was end of October. So I still technically did it while I was active duty, but didn't finish out the process until well after I EAS. Does that make sense?
Okay. What's Skill Bridge? What's that? I never heard of that.
GoBridge is it's actually a program that as long as your battalion commander or your unit commander or whatever signs off on it and approves it, you can go to like an apprenticeship program or
Okay, yeah.
internship or whatever, and pretty much go learn another skill for the last 6 months or however long the skill bridge program is. You learn another skill. That way it's like a bridge to civilian sector. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
right. And that's the last 6 months of your contract,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
So
What'd
yeah,
you decide to do? What were you?
I did a multi-dimensional movement coach certification. It's actually pretty dope. So essentially like a personal trainer, physical therapist hybrid program thing, right? So they're
Okay.
called multi-dimensional movement coaches. So it teaches you just a lot of the science behind movement, human dimensions, things like that. But it was cool because it was all online too. So I didn't even have to go anywhere, dude. I literally
Yeah.
I was home, bro, chilling. So
Hmm.
dude, it was skate. Yeah.
Nice. Did
Yeah.
you move out of the town you were in after
No,
you
no,
got out?
I've been in San Diego, stayed in San Diego, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Love it here.
that was my issue. I had to move out of my town because my ex-wife still lived there, and it was just like she goes to my gym. The dude that she was with goes to my gym. Like I'm seeing all these people around. I gotta move out of here. Um,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, bro. I mean, this sounds like you're in a small town then, right?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, very small. Yeah, I guess San Diego's a bit larger.
You're right, exactly. Yeah, it's like you got North County. Yeah, I sometimes I don't think I'll see anybody ever again that really I don't want to see. You know, it'd be pretty unfortunate. But mm,
Now, what was that feeling that, like the day you got out? Because I mean, I guess 6 months you're not really going in uniform, you're not doing much. But the day
right,
you were out, dude, how awesome did it feel? Did it feel awesome?
dude, it felt like unreal. I mean, it really did
Yeah.
because, dude, I joined right out of high school, dog. I was 18. Literally, I graduated high school, and then 5 days later, I was on the Yellow Footprints at MCRD. Like, it was the fact. Like, I had one weekend as like a civilian, like adult
Mhm.
after high school. That was it, dude. So, um, realizing that, like, holy shit, like I'm back to like that status, like I'm a civilian again, dude. Like it I almost feel like it was a whole nother life ago when I was in the Marine Corps, right? Because it was
Yeah.
just so like literally it was like that wasn't even my life now. Like it's like it was a whole nother life, bro. Like it's crazy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's nutty.
Yeah, it's a completely different mindset, completely different. It took me a while to realize I'm a civilian. I I guess the feeling hit pretty quick, but to actually step into that, it took me a while. I was hanging on to the boys back home and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff, but it was definitely a tough transition. Why was yours so tough? Is it just so you're saying you got depressed and whatnot? What happened to you
Yeah.
while you were?
Yeah, man. I started to like go into like some deep depression, and then actually I would have a lot of mania go on as well, right? So like I would become like just like I wouldn't sleep. I didn't think I needed sleep. I would like literally go days without sleeping almost. And then I would, go to the opposite, and then I would just end up depressed and then freaking, whatever, and couldn't get out of bed. So I knew there was something off, right? Like it wasn't normal behavior. I would, get in bad arguments with my girlfriend and like, have episodes like lash out, and then it got so bad to the point where she had to call the police on me to get me freaking help, dude. And it had to happen twice because I was like the second time right before I got my diagnosis. Dude, I had one foot off, like off my balcony, and I was like about to jump, bro. Like I'm 13 stories
Wow.
up. Like, yeah. And I thank God that, I was going crazy and I didn't want her to call the police. I was like, I didn't want the help. I was just whatever, just stuck in my, you know, thing that I was in. And dude, it's scary though, bro. And it ended up that fucking cops finally got in here, dog. Took 6 of them to fucking slam me down to the ground, dude. They were like fucking beating my ass too. Like, and dude, I was fighting them. They eventually did. They were like, they got me down there, like, it's done, Tristan. I'm like, fuck. Like, I couldn't breathe.
Lost.
Like, I'm freaking out. Like, I lost, dude. I was putting up a fight too. They were pissed, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then they put me in a fucking straight jacket on top of it, bro. And then they carry my ass fucking down to the elevator, fucking put me in the cop car in the fucking straight jacket, take my ass to the hospital. And I was there for, several hours. Yeah, I just at that point, bro, I was defeated, bro. Like I
Mhm.
completely just gave up, man. I was just like, dude, like I can't do this anymore, bro, because like I was just going fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, would you say that's like the lowest you've been? Was that
Oh, 100%,
instance there?
bro. I mean,
Yeah.
that since 2021 when I got that alcohol related incident because I used to cope with
Yeah.
alcohol. That was the problem. Like I would drink and that wouldn't help my condition. It would make it much worse. You know what I mean? I wasn't on medication or anything. Like I was self-medicating essentially with alcohol at one point. So
Mhm.
um which doesn't fucking work. So yeah.
No. No, never never works.
No.
No,
Um,
I had a similar buddy with the same thing. I think he's diagnosed bipolar as well. Tommy, he came on the show. And it was pretty similar. Up a couple days, and
Mhm,
then didn't hear for him for a couple days, and then
mhm.
he might not show up to work for a couple days. Like it was up and down, up and down, up and down. What to give a sense to the people who don't know or not diagnosed, what looking back at it now, what would have been the warning sign to you that would have been like, hey, I'm okay, this makes sense why I'm bipolar or why I'm diagnosed. This makes sense, this action or something.
Can you kind of elaborate on that question, really? Like, what exactly
So
do you
like for
mean?
me, I didn't really even know I was like suicidal until I had a buddy
Mhm.
finally tell me. Like I would have thoughts that I was ready to run my car into a tree. I was ready to flip it at 80 miles an hour, ready to do whatever I want just to get it over with. And it didn't make sense to me, but when he told me, and then I look back, I'm like, oh, okay, so those type of thoughts are what,
Uh,
like that's what that means to be suicidal. That's
Got
what it
it. Got
means
it.
to be depressed.
Right.
What action or thought was, now that you look back on it, you're like, okay, that's the definition of bipolar. Like if someone is having this thought, the chances of them being bipolar is.
Oh no, yeah, that's great question, bro. I mean, for me, it was definitely it was the thoughts that like the suicide ideations that would come out of nowhere. And then also like the manic, like when you notice that you can go from like one day feeling like you're on top of the world, right? Like you don't even need sleep. You feel like you're not even really human sometimes because you're just so fucking manic. And then another day you can be literally you just like no feel numb, bro, like completely down, just nothing, dude. It's polar opposites, hence why it's freaking bipolar, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, those were the clear indicators for me, without a doubt, was like those kind of thoughts, like and how substantially different you can be within like weeks time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask next. What was the time frame from being at the top to being at the bottom? Was it 3 days at the top, then you go to the bottom for 3 days, and does it change?
It varies, bro, but I'd say on average, I could go anywhere from like 4 to 8 weeks, like in a manic episode, maybe even 12 sometimes. Like, and then it'll go around the same for like, down. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay, yeah, see, I was thinking it was like 2 days, then 2 days, then
It
2 days, 2 days.
Yes, I mean, it could. I mean, everyone's different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me personally, yeah, I can go like weeks on a manic episode, and then yeah, dude, and then one day it'll just all come to shit. Like,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Mm. Yeah, and there's a lot of stigma behind it, obviously, and mental health in
Yeah.
general, which is unfortunate. So to be honest, that was the last thing that I ever wanted to like admit that I am, right? A lot because when I was growing up, my mom's ex boyfriend that freaking was a piece of shit. He was bipolar as well, alcoholic, right? And like I didn't want to correlate myself to him in any sort of way, or
Yeah.
like remind, like I didn't want anything about him to be reminded, right? That was it. And but yeah, I mean, regardless, man, I know there's a lot of successful people out there that are bipolar, and it's not something that we should dread, right? If anything, I feel like there could be a silver lining between it all too. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I can say that I've always been a very emotional dude, right? Very emotional dude. Like when I was a child, like you could say like I hate you and I would start crying. Like, if one of my friends was like, I'm not your friend anymore, I'd start crying, because I was a very
Yeah.
emotional kid. Like that's just an example, right? But like um I realized as an adult, like, damn, like even the indications are there even as a child, right? So kind of go back to elaborate on that last question you asked about like the examples. You can think back on your childhood too and realize that like why were you a lot different than your average kid or whatever, right? And that helped out a lot, giving me clarity on what my condition was.
Yeah, and then to top that all off, I'm in psych class now, and that's
Oh,
like you
nice.
said, everybody's different. Like
Hmm.
you saying this doesn't mean that I'm bipolar, but it's a sign that some people may be. Because, dude,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm bipolar in that sense, but when I was a kid, I'm extremely emotional too. Always have been. Probably
Hmm.
always will be. Like strike out of baseball and start crying immediately. That I'm like
Right.
lose a hockey game, start crying immediately. I'm just pissed off, upset, whatever it was. But that
Yeah.
doesn't, that doesn't. There's not one thing that leads you to being bipolar, right?
Hmm.
Like it's a plethora of things that kind of add up, and you're like, all right, this all together, this makes one diagnosis of bipolar.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah, it's definitely tricky. So why was your transition so tough? Did you because you didn't find this out until recently, right?
No, yeah, I didn't find out until I got my rating back, which was
Yeah.
in April. Um, so
Okay.
yeah, no, I mean, what do you like as far as the transition? What exactly?
Yeah, like you said it was just a tough transition from the military out. For me, dude, I mean, it was the same thing. It took me probably a year and a half to finally transition out. Like to move
Yeah.
home to my parents and realize I'm not in the army anymore. Like I had that realization, but to get back up to being a normal, not normal, I hate using that word, but to get back
Hmm.
up to being my true
Yeah.
self and realizing, yeah, like what made yours so tough? Was it I mean, because 11 years, bro, that's a decent amount of time.
No, yeah, for sure, bro. It is. It's over a decade if you put it in that sense. It's kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for me, dude, it was I don't even think I have actually full on like, accepted the fact that I'm not in
Mm,
anymore. I can say within the last couple months it has gotten substantially better for me. Just because I've gotten on the right medication now and things like that to support the bipolar. And I have a girlfriend that supports me, and she also got out of the military as well. So she was in the Navy. So I guess both of us transitioning at the same time actually was good because we had each other's support. Um, but yeah, no, it was bad, bro. It was. I mean, I would I would stay in bed freaking. When I first got out, I couldn't get out of bed until like 9:45, 10. Like, um, but yeah, now it's like it's up and down, bro. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense, dude. It was my mom, she mentioned it to me too, because when I was getting out, I was up on top for a couple days, then down below for a couple days, then back up on top, got a new idea, then back down below. My mom's like, I see you just keep like week to week, it's just up and down, up and down. Your life isn't steady. Like, there was
Right.
nothing, and especially like when you're getting out of the military for the past 11 years, you've had a steady, really a steady everything, steady life, steady routine, steady paycheck. Everything has just been easy going, easy sailing. And you get out and it's like, dude, everything is like, I know how to be responsible, but everything's on my back now. Like I had these
Dude.
dudes since I was 19 take care of me, and now I got to do it.
Right, bro. No, it is wild. And like I'm grateful that, with the 90% disability rating, the whole medical thing is covered because that was something that stressed me out the most because I was like
Mhm.
going through online doctors and shit just to make sure I could get my current subscriptions or prescriptions that I had, excuse me. So that was like, yeah, I would be paying like $150 just to talk to a doctor for like 5 minutes and then them prescribe me some medication, then still have to go pay for the medication. And like, and because the VA, I don't know if yeah, I don't know. Do you remember me posting about the VA completely cutting me off, right? Initially, before I got my claim back. So like,
No.
yeah, bro. So I was already being seen by the VA initially after my first 5150 when I had an episode, right? They put me on some medication, whatever, right? This was literally like 5 days after I actually EAS. So I was no longer like I wasn't covered by TRICARE or anything, right? So got out and I was getting seen by the VA, right? Got set up with them. Went and did like my whole financial portion, like as far as like qualifying for VA healthcare, right? I made too much money in 2023, so they completely said that I was ineligible for VA healthcare. entirely until I got my claim back. And then as soon as I got my claim back, I got moved up to priority one, right? Like, so I go from freaking, yeah, dude, it's stupid. Like they had completely cut me off, so I had to go through like online doctors and shit, and that was a pain in the ass. Like, dude, yeah. So I hear you when it comes to like doing everything on our own and realizing we have to do everything on our own, dude. It's kind of crazy because, like, dude, if you think about it, the military literally wipes our ass for us, dude. Like
Yeah.
straight up.
And it's tell you, like, I took it for granted just because, like you said, dude, I went in at 19. I was with my parents until I was 19. So my parents took care of everything else. Like I was just kind of
Mhm.
living. And then I got to the army, still just kind of living, doing what I'm told. And I get
Mhm.
out and it's like, all right, my parents can't do that for me anymore. Military's not doing it for me anymore. So I gotta do everything, dude. This sucks.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, dude,
everything. That's
bro.
crazy, man, that they just cut you off like that. That's
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
no, completely, bro. Just like, yep, you're ineligible because you make too much money. You made too much money last year. So literally, if because like my girlfriend, for instance, she hasn't gotten her claim back yet, but she is eligible for VA healthcare because she just was in the military last year. She didn't make a lot of money, right? But I had my business last year on top of my military pay. So because of that, I was ineligible. Like, so I could have been fucking like homeless on the side of the street, bro. Like, not have a business. Everything could have went to shit, right? Like, because they go based off your last year's income, which is stupid too, because it's not even off your current income; it's off last year's income. So yeah, dude, it's wild. That's all I gotta say about
it's
that.
wild.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
wild. No,
Mhm.
that's wow.
It's
And
good. If anyone listen, if for all the listeners right now, that is good information to know. Okay, so like, just remember if you're, filing a VA claim or whatever, getting out, that matters. All right, so freaking just take that in consideration if you are trying to get health care before you get your VA claim back. Yeah, because they
wow.
will get theirs.
Yeah. Now, did they back pay you for all of that or no?
As a matter of fact, yeah. So once I got my claim, yeah, rating and everything, I got back pay all the way from October. So,
And you just had to
um,
track all your bills.
yeah,
Like
no,
bills
literally.
for for everything, the doctor visits, all of
Oh,
that, they paid for that or no?
yeah, no. As soon as I got my rating back, everything was good. But like, I mean, before that, bro, like I had bills stacking up, like literally.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
still being seen, dude. I had to get that. I mean, I had to, like,
Mhm.
so. No, it all worked out for the best, man. I guess we can say that. As a
It's
matter
hard
of
to
fact,
think in the moment,
no, it
but
really is, dude. I mean, when I was in a fucking straitjacket being carried down to the cop car, that was the lowest feeling I've ever had in my fucking life, dude. Let me just tell you that. Um,
that's wild because the name of our last episode was I hit rock bottom and I liked it. That's
yeah,
what you said. And now
wow.
it's crazy. Yeah, like a year later, it's the
Hmm.
same thing. Like you just maybe 2 years, something like that. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy that
closer.
it happened.
Dude, I know, bro. History tends to repeat itself, and like I take it as a lesson and honestly a blessing at the same time. The universe is simply just giving me what I need in order to correct the deficiencies in order to progress. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
always I'm good with it. Like, okay, I thank you for letting me know that something needs to be addressed here, and let me take care of that and freaking onward and upward, right? Um,
Yes, sir.
but yeah, man, it was like, yeah, it's been a journey, bro. Like I was saying, it's
Yeah,
been a journey.
to say the least. Now, do
Yeah.
you just to move a little lighter here? Do you have like a 5, 10 year plan? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? Type deal. Do you have ideas?
Well, I do. I'm currently, hoping. Well, not hoping. I'm currently working on scaling my coaching business. I want to get it. I want to get it to seven figures. Hopefully within the next 12 to 24 months. That's my 12 to 24 month vision. So by 5 years, hoping, not hoping. I keep saying that. I don't like that word.
Mhm.
Freaking, we don't
Yeah.
say hope here. We do and we don't. That's it. And then I'm going to continue to work until we scale to yeah, I mean that's the thing, man. Is I want to make the biggest impact, and I want to really make the most out of my life, right? Because we only got
Yeah.
one chance at this. So 5 years, definitely see having multiple real estate properties. And 10 years, like, dude, I want to be just honestly, if I could retire in 10 years, that would be great. To be honest with you, like I want to be able to just crush the next 10 years and then just live my life. That would be dope. By the time I'm 40,
Yeah.
never have to work again. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm not retired by any means. Um, but I kind of have that feeling a little bit because, dude, I just wake up and do whatever I want to do. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's me
want to
too.
do my podcast. I want to do school for psychology. Those are just two things I want to do, and that's it. I just do what I want to do, and life is just like just smooth sailing. Like, I'm pushing a little bit for the podcast, pushing a little bit for the school, and then if I'm not doing that, dude, I'm hanging out, and that's
Mm,
I don't know if that's how life's supposed to be or if I'm just in a little part of my life where I'm doing that, but I mean, it's incredible to be able to just like, and that's what the VA provides when they do provide, like we were saying, that 90%, I'm getting paid for the rest of my life. I'm going to school, so they pay me for that. Like I'm getting livable money for the next probably 8 years of my life until I'm done with school.
That's amazing,
Livable,
bro.
like that's, and it only goes up. Like it,
Mm-hmm.
because you think I'm done with school, then I got my psychology degree, it goes up. You
Yep.
think
And you don't
my
have to
VA
get into
disability, that don't go down.
Yep. You don't have to. That's 100%. You don't have to get into any student loan debt or anything because you're covered.
Mhm.
Like, bro, you're set, dude.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's hard because we tell these stories, like, I mean, you were
yeah,
suicidal, I was suicidal, we tell all that, but then, like, they do provide at some point. You just if you can make it through that, it's the best case scenario for me. It has been. Like, this has been the best case scenario by far, and it's just you have to make it through it. It's a side effect that's gonna come, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. Like, hey, let me join the military. I'm sure I'll be just fine. Nothing bad will happen. Like, I'll just be able to get out without any crazy thoughts. No, that's part of the gig.
no, 100%, dude. And then, like, you hit the nail on the head, dude. It was 100% worth it. The juice was worth the squeeze. Like, I wouldn't be anywhere where I am in my life without the Marine Corps. And for anybody that's listening, like transitioning out, right? Yes, it is challenging. It is hard. That just goes without being said. But with that said, mm, don't let if you're still in the military, don't let them scare you about getting out, right? Don't let this and these stories scare you or deter you from getting out and wanting to do what you want to do in life, right? Because we like, people hear this like, fuck, dude, getting out scary. Like, and that's the thing is it is scary for sure. But there are the resources are there, right? Like, I mean, I got out, I could have stayed in another 9 years just to get a freaking pension, right? Like, or I could get out. I'm already collecting 90% disability. So I'm literally basically already retired in a way. I'm already getting a pension in a way, right? Like
Hmm.
if I stayed in for another 9 years, I would have got an extra like 2K a month. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
would that have been worth it? Right? Like I don't think so. Like just for an extra 2K a month, spend another 9 years of my life doing what I and not doing what I want to do. Like I'm good off that, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I was gonna ask you that because that's like a big thing is what I hear. The dude Kevin, he was getting out. He was at 9 or 10 years, and
mhm.
that's exactly what they said. Dude, you're halfway there. You just finished out your 20. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
like 10,
No,
10 more years.
no, exactly, bro. Like, and then the thing is it's crazy because the only people that are telling you and asking you why you're getting out, these are all people that have never gotten out, right? Like, these are people that have only stayed in. So, like, why would we take advice from anybody that has never actually gotten out of the military themselves? They're still in, so they don't know shit like about getting out because they've never done it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
crazy. all
Yeah.
this
No,
unsolicited advice we get all the time and shit from people. Like,
yeah, no, and it's hard to make your own decision because I mean, you're filtering all of that too. So like, you got to put your voice at the top. Essentially, you got to listen to what's deep down inside. Because, dude, 10 more years. I mean, imagine where you could be on the outside, not waiting for that pension. Like you just said,
exactly.
your 10-year plan, bro. Like if you hit 7 figures, 10-year plan. That when you hit 7 figures, that's a pension wouldn't matter.
No,
Yeah, it'd be
no,
nice, but you couldn't do that in. You can't do like
right?
you put it perfectly what you want. You literally can't do what you want with your life. You get home from military, dude. I was working 7 to 6, 7 to 5. I get home, dude. I'm not doing shit. I'm hanging out. I'm drinking a beer, playing video games, fucking watching movies. I'm not doing anything for myself. So your whole life is just for this machine that doesn't give a shit about you. And then you
Yep.
get out and you realize that was a big realization I had to go through was, wow, no, they really didn't give a flying fuck about me at all. So I'm glad
Right.
I'm out because while I was in, they didn't care. Now that I'm out, they still don't care. So you're giving so much. I mean, dude, 20 years of your life. I'm 26. That's most of my life. I would have like given to them for not
Yeah.
much in return. Like the pension's nice, everything's nice. I was talking to a dude, he's retired 22 years out of the army. He's getting it was like 7.5 grand a month. That's his pension
Damn.
completely. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
E9, so it's
Yeah.
whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what your pension's based off is your base pay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is.
and
So
and he was saying like, yeah, it's awesome right now, but I mean, you talk to him about anything that happened, it's like, fuck, dude, this guy had no time for himself. Went through 2 different wives, has kids with 2 different people.
is that really worth it at that point, bro? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Is that the life we're supposed to even live, dude? Like that's really what you're giving up if you're going in for 10 more years. And dude, you get diagnosed with this while you're in, they really don't give a fuck about you.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
100%.
really don't care.
Yeah.
You can't,
No.
bro, you can't deploy, fucking chew glass. Like there's nothing we
Yeah.
can do for you. And it's just the way it works. Today's episode is sponsored by Honor Guard Coffee. I know what you're thinking, another coffee brand, but let me just stop you right there. This is not a regular coffee brand like Starbucks. This coffee brand was made to support veterans, with 25% of the proceeds going towards veterans. The mission of Honor Guard Coffee is simple: pair each veteran with a service dog. On top of that, each blend is named after a service animal that actually served, including their breakfast blend, Cairo, the Belgian Malinois, there on the Bin Laden raid. Think of Black Rifle Coffee Company, but with more help towards veterans, a better taste, and dogs. The only way to beat Black Rifle Coffee is with dogs, and we're here to do it. Look, I'm just a regular coffee guy. I drink the garbage that I get from Walmart, whatever it may be. And let me tell you that if you're that guy, try this and you'll never want to go back to Walmart again. I had no idea coffee could actually taste this good. Steven sent me a package and it was phenomenal. If you want to get to know Steven, like I said, episode 57, an ex-Marine who struggled with mental health and is looking to make a change. We are also trying to look to make that same change. So we couldn't be more proud that our mission aligns so well with our first sponsor. For that, I'd like to thank Honor Guard Coffee and Steven. If you're looking to buy some Honor Guard Coffee, the link will be in the description below. Now back to the podcast.
100%, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
What so I try to think back to avoid it the next time is what got me to my suicidal thoughts and ideation and getting to the point where I pull a gun to my head. What are there any signs that you're looking for now to avoid that? Because I'm trying to think. Mine for me, dude, it was mostly alcohol. I wasn't pursuing anything worth it as well. So those were probably the 2 things. I was losing the military. I was an alcoholic. I lost my wife. So it's like, is there anything you're on guard for that to happen again? Because in the moment, dude, you're not thinking about anything other than that, really. Like in the
Yeah.
moment, I had the gun to my head. Like that's all I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about shit else. Is there anything that you first were you thinking of anything? Just Like what were your minds that you were going through when you were on the ledge? And then is there
Mhm.
anything that you kind of look out for, I guess, now to not have that happen again?
Yeah, bro, that's a great question. So for me, I mean, it really comes back to like my self-control plan and like recognizing my triggers, recognizing my emotions, and being able to like understand my emotions much more thoroughly than I ever have. Like I've never been able to like really like it's always been like secondary emotions for me, which is like anger, right? Like I'll just always resort
Mhm.
to anger, for instance. And usually that'll drag me to just like do stupid shit, like want to kill myself and shit like that, right? Like, and then
Mhm.
just go to insanity. Um, but yeah, what I'm realizing now, man, is it's like I've had to like really well, the medication's helping me like have a more understanding of everything too. Like it's been able to help me regulate so much, so that's been easier for me. But overall, it's like what am I actually feeling, right? Like where are these feelings actually coming from? You know what I mean? And um since then I've realized that I have like abandonment issues, that I have like, this and that and all this stuff from childhood really has a lot to do with it. Um but yeah, no, I mean the big thing is this like it's the self-control plan, is realizing like when these thoughts come up, like what are you going to do to get yourself out of those thoughts, right? Like because you have to be proactive with it, right? Because
Right.
if you're reactive, then that's the issue, is being reactive. We have to be proactive. Like, all right, if we start having these feelings and these thoughts, right, what are we going to do to immediately get us back to baseline, right? So that's my take on that, brother.
Yeah, it's a different switch, and it's hard. So like you were saying earlier, it's hard to ask for help. I talked about it on my podcast yesterday too. It's hard to ask for help when you know you can't give much back. Like for me, when I'm reaching my hand out, I already I'm a generous person. I want to give something in return, but
Mhm.
sometimes like you literally can't, and you just have to ask for help. And realizing, for me, a big realization, especially in the business world, is the people that are doing fine or doing great, they're not
Mhm.
expecting anything in return. They're actually helping. They're great. Like you think about what we're doing here. You went through hell. Now you're doing great. And now you want to share this for other people. That's the same exact thing that the people trying to reach their hand out to help you are thinking. Like when I'm in rock bottom and I don't know who to turn to, what to talk to, whatever it may be, I don't want to reach my hand out. Those people are looking to help you out because they're doing great. Like that's the whole point of doing great and getting
Yep.
successful, is so that you could lend the hand and help
Be
other
of
people get
service.
up to where you are. Right.
Yes.
So what I mean, we talked about it a little bit. What was it, the stigma that stopped you from asking for help? What did you, is it just like the military? Because for me, the military, dude, I never ask for help in the military because I'm a piece of shit if I'm wrong. Like, I'm not going to ask her. I'll figure it out myself. You know,
Yep.
like, is there,
No,
was it?
that's facts, bro. That's facts. It's definitely
Yeah.
was being in the military that made it much more difficult. I mean, when I came in, bro, like if you had a mental health thing, like they would. I mean, you were Section 8 at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so I did everything that I could to just pretend that I was okay, and I like didn't want to be that freaking that guy that goes to medical all the time or whatever, right? Yeah, it's the military is toxic in those ways, unfortunately. A lot when I mean, it's gotten better now. I can definitely say like they've implemented some stuff that's like in the Marine Corps they have like a pack order now, like prohibited activity of conduct, and it's really like to nail on people that like whatever don't get the support they need or whatever, right? There's a lot that goes into it, but anyways, like because when I came in, bro, like I mean, hazing was a thing, fucking all that,
Mhm.
right? Like, I mean, I dealt with some pretty stupid shit when I first came in, for sure. But yeah, so last thing I was gonna do was go to my NCOs and ask them to go to fucking medical for mental health. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so
Right. And
yeah,
it's,
man.
I mean, the first time you ask for help, I, what's the difference? What could someone who's not asking for help, what could they look forward to? Because in my mind, when I didn't, like you were saying, it's like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like, who am I to ask for help? And people are going to think this, like the mental health stigma, all of that. When you're in that zone, what could you tell a dude in that zone about asking for help? Like after you've asked for help, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're the thing is you can't lead your if you're not able to lead yourself, then you're never going to be a leader for others. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what got me initially realizing like I do need to do this, right? Is because as a leader, like you literally like if you're not good, then that's going to affect your troops. That's going to affect, you know what I'm saying? Like
Everybody,
it's
yeah.
definitely yeah, exactly. So that's my take on that, bro. Is like I realized that no, I'm not going to be an effective leader like if I'm not good, right? So, in the long run like it's not there's no stigma to it. Like, it's your business. Like if you're not good, you have to get help. You do. Otherwise shit's going to go fucking bad for you because you know, if you're too egotistical to get the help, then that's only gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, man.
it's and to tie that into medication. So that's what a lot of people say when they get medicated is I didn't want to do that even one bit. Like that's the last
The
thing I wanted to
medication,
do. Yeah.
right? And I mean, yeah, it's obviously you don't want to be like that person that has to take meds or whatever, right? But like, if it means that you can have more peace, right? If it means that I can, like, actually not make an embarrassment of myself because I had a manic episode, right? Like, if it means that, then I think, popping a little pill every day, I think I can fucking manage that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I mean, dude, you got to pick and choose your battles, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's really fun. Like, I'd rather not, bro. I think I enjoy having control of my life.
Yeah, I tried a couple, it didn't work for me. Was there any like do you have any prior like people around you that have done it where they're like, "Oh, don't do this or do it," or were there any other influences in your life telling you anything?
I mean, yeah, like, but luckily for the most part, like, it was honestly in my other relationship where like I got a lot of shit for getting on meds initially, so I eventually stopped. But now I don't really have anybody giving me any negative feedback. No, I mean, like, if I run into like, I think the other day I was talking to somebody and the dude was like, "Well, do you think that like they're poisoning you with all these meds and all this shit, whatever?" I was just like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, fucking, hey." I couldn't even like talk to him anymore after that. But like, yeah, like the
Poison.
juice, the juice is worth the squeeze to me, bro. But no, to answer your question, man, there's nobody in my life that's like trying to like tell me that I'm getting poisoned and shit as of now. So
Poison. That's so fucking funny. Oh man. No, well, I say I wasn't thinking of that, but for me, it was I didn't want to do it, and my mom was trying to kind of push it a little bit because she saw how I
uh,
was. She saw, I mean, I was living in her house. She saw exactly how I was. She was able to see a different view than how I saw, and so she was trying to push me to do it. But I would say I didn't get the right treatment to get on anything that was worthwhile. So, how many
yeah,
medications did you go through?
several, bro. Yeah, no, I mean, I think easily over the last 5 months, 6 months, I've gone through like 5 or 6 different medications.
Wow. Okay.
Like
So just
for
just to tell you, I had a lady on who does she runs her own practice for ketamine infusion,
oh
and
really?
the VA will pay for that completely if you're diagnosed. You have to try 4 medications and it not work before you can get it completely treated. I can't. I think I have it written down here.
Dude, that sounds dope.
Treatment resistant depression is what you'd have to go into the VA and get diagnosed. And then if you get that, then you go and they'll pay completely for the ketamine infusion therapy. And I've never done it myself. I don't know how it is. She's out in Tennessee, so it's not something in California. Maybe it is. I mean, California's kind of crazy anyway, so chances are probably
Yeah.
pretty high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because like I was saying, I didn't really like I told them everything, all my therapist and everything about my conditions, everything like that. And the lady in the military, after 5 sessions, said I should try this. Didn't really try it while I was out there. I was taking 1 or 2 pills, then quit, then took them again, then quit, and didn't really care for it. And then when I came home to Florida, they just put me on the same thing. I didn't even have to go to therapy for it. They said you were prescribed this in the Army, so let's try it. And it was Zoloft. And I was like, dude, y'all didn't even like sit me down and tell me what's wrong or anything. Y'all just gave me pills, so I didn't take
Yeah.
them. But
Got it.
sounds like, I mean, have you been going to the same therapist? Is this or was psychiatrist?
So I just recently got set up with a new one because I started doing community care through the VA. It's the
Yeah,
fastest.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just recently got one, and now I'm doing and I got hit with a therapist for this week. I'm seeing them for the first time through the VA. So everything covered. Otherwise I was paying out of pocket for my therapy before that. But now I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, community care for anybody getting out or getting towards that or whatever it is. Community care is essentially the VA hires a third party person for you. The community care network is within the VA. They hire the third party therapist for you, and then you could go to them instead. My issue was I wasn't able to get steady VA appointments with my therapist. It was 5 to 6 weeks apart. I was like, look, I gotta do this a little more often. They just didn't have time for me at all. That was at the quickest they could get me in. So community care, you could do it. I mean, I think my buddy's still doing it for the past year. He's been doing it once a week. So completely
That's
paid
dope.
for, yeah, through the VA, just for anybody out there. But yeah, man. So how's it now that you're here? How does it truly feel to be out? Is it?
Dude, overall, it's the most bittersweet thing in the world, dude. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, you can't put a price tag on freedom, right? Like when I got out, dude,
Mhm.
like, and the fact that I was able to just fly to Ireland and didn't have to submit any paperwork to do that, right? Like, I just the little things in life, bro. Like, I mean, I do literally do what I want to do in life now. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, like I literally I run my business. I fucking and that's it, dude. I just enjoy life. Like
Yeah. No,
pretty
that's it. Yeah.
like, so, but I do miss, they say that you'll miss the clowns, but you won't miss the circus, right? And that's totally true. It's like I do miss my boys. I miss being around the boys. I miss like, just I do miss putting on the uniform, whatever. I took pride in it, right? But like definitely don't miss all the fucking bullshit. Like, that shit's for the birds. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's how I feel about it, bro. Overall, though, great. Like I can say I made the right choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's good. Glad to hear it because some people will end up going back. Hopefully, that's not you. I mean, if it's in the cards, it's in the
Ah,
cards. But
well, it wouldn't be the Marine Corps because I've got this fucking. But yeah, nah. I mean, I'm already sitting at 90% disability, bro. I don't see why I would ever go back. To be honest with you,
yeah,
like I would. I mean, if I went back in, I would lose my disability. That's just kind of stupid.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No,
and
that's a good way to put it.
yeah,
What's that?
I'm getting the help that I need now. You know what I mean? But now, go ahead, bro. What were we saying?
Yeah, it's. I'm glad, yeah, that you feel that way. I'm the same way. The whole you don't miss the circus, you miss the clowns. Like
Right.
that's. I just did a video on it the other day, dude. I've been trying something new. I started a little YouTube channel. I'm just trying to talk to the screen for 30 minutes about anything. So
Mm-hmm.
I just pick a topic and start talking. And the last one was describing a veteran mindset to a civilian. It's like, let me just try and sit down. And dude, I'm gonna need way more than 30 minutes. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I could do this in 30 minutes, but I just sat down and I mean, that was the number one thing, is realizing for me, and I figured it was going to happen, but I didn't prepare myself too much. But realizing that the people in, like, the homies that I still have in the army, they're in
Hmm.
the army. They don't fucking have time for me. Like, I can't. Like, did I know what it's like to be working the hours they're working and being under the stress they're under and focusing on your career, then your family, then if you're TDY or deploying or whatever the fuck. Like, they do care about me. If I call them, they would either answer or get back to me, something like that. But they're not on the spot like they were when we were in. Like, the
Right.
homies that are in, like, I show up every day. If I need some help, they're there to help me out. If I had some bullshit happen with my ex-wife, talk about that, we're good to go. I always had a homie to talk to, and I had to get very comfortable just being alone, dude. Like, and I didn't have a girlfriend at the time when I was getting out either, so it was just completely me, being alone with me, talking to nobody, dealing with my thoughts. And that's when I started thinking about, I mean, everything you're talking about, everything, like, my emotions. Where is this all coming from? Dude, I haven't been angry in a long time now, since I realized that type of shit. Like,
That's
it's just
amazing.
been so long, but where, like, I've been pissed off enough to punch a hole in the wall or something. Dude, I was playing fucking NHL, the video game, and punched a hole through my closet when I was in the military because I lost.
Gee,
Because I lost, bro. Like I just fucking, I got so pissed. I was playing, got so pissed, just fucking turned and punched a hole in the closet. Like,
Jesus
that's the
Christ.
type of shit that was happening, bro, over a video game. And now
Yeah, that's
I truly, I could not tell you the last time I've been angry, just
yeah,
because
that's
you pointed out, you see it, and then what do you get out of it? Every time I'm
nothing.
angry, like you're saying, like, you get nothing out of it. Every time I get angry, my life gets worse. Every single time, no matter what it is. Like, I could just be in traffic and get angry because it's a fucking red light instead of green. And it makes my life worse. It makes my
Yeah.
life worse until it's a green light. So, like, what's what's the fucking point? So sick and tired of it, Like, you reach a point.
Nah, that's so true, bro. That's freaking dope.
Now,
Yeah.
the So actually, I'd like to talk just about your relationship with your girlfriend a bit, because to go through all this, I mean, good old red pill community will tell you not to expose any of this to her ever. What's your problem, dude? You weak man,
Right.
like, what, and especially just her being your girlfriend, not a fiance or anything. wh- What signs or something, like, how do I put this? What gave you the green light to believe you could tell her? Did you have a choice?
As far as the bipolar?
Just about who,
Or-
like, what's been happening, like, just about your
Oh,
emotions, because you share your emotions with a woman, you're the devil now, you know?
right. No, yeah, it just that's facts, bro. Apparently, men can't be vulnerable nowadays, you know what I mean? But um yeah, I mean it was she's definitely been there through my worst, you know what I mean? And she was there that like got and helped me get the help that I needed. So like as far as like opening up to her and sharing things with her, like it's easier than it's ever been with anybody else, you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that because I can express how I'm feeling and like be vulnerable as a man, and I don't get shit on, and I get listened to, I get validated. So overall, I'd say it's great, man. Yeah, does that mean you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, once you go through that low, it's quite easy to feel vulnerable with that person, especially as I
Yeah,
see you at your lowest. I mean, that's the lowest I've been. You've seen me there, so what do I have to lose now? Like, yeah, you're still
right,
here. What do I gotta lose?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
facts.
How have you been dealing with, I guess, what's the kind of, do you guys sit down and talk about this at all, or are you just like, are you cooking breakfast and mention something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is there any format to it at all? Because, like, for me, I got a girlfriend now, and if I don't feel like at all hours of the day I should just burden. I guess it shouldn't feel like a burden, but burden her with whatever emotion or mindset I'm going through, whatever it may be. Is there a
Yeah.
set schedule or anything that you guys go with?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's healthy to just ask like, hey, do you got time, or are you you know, do you have the space available to talk about X, Y, and Z, right? If yes, then we can sit down and talk about it. If no, then we'll just schedule out a time in the future to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because like you said, you don't want to just like unprovokedly like throw your dump your shit onto anybody, really, right? So like, yeah, I think it'd be good to just bring up like like, hey, like, can we talk about this, or you got the space available, whatever. That's kind of like how I would go about it,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
'Cause, yeah, I
like,
mean, even becoming vulnerable for myself is that's where my trauma comes into play. Is I feel like
mhm,
every time I've become vulnerable, I haven't been received in the proper way, I guess. And
got it. And
that's childhood. Like,
that's understandable, bro. And it's gonna take time. It's gonna take repetitions, right? Like, you're not gonna be perfect, to go around, but just try it, man, because they do say, and it's totally true, vulnerability and um, you know, just being vulnerable is the number one way to raise your state of vibration. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude. And that's just like what I've learned is like the more vulnerable I've been, the more that I've like opened up and shared about my life, the more fulfilled I feel, right? And
mhm.
you definitely notice how much it really does help when you do actually let it out in a healthy way instead of bottle that shit up. And that's what turns into fucking anger and explosion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're basically living a double life. Like, I have
Right.
what I'm thinking in my mind, and I can't share it. Like, I'm
Hmm.
just living a double life. Especially for me, dude. I can't keep anything in. I guess
Yeah.
even like secrets are the hardest thing for me to keep in. I don't care to keep them. Like, it's if something's on my mind, you know what's on my mind. If I'm not saying something, you
Hmm.
will still know. You'll see it on my face. You'll see it in my body language. You'll know something's on my mind. I can't live that double life. So, like I was saying, being vulnerable, I've just in the past relationships, one of my past relationships, I was vulnerable and kind of thought down on me a bit because of it. Like,
Hmm.
it wasn't I wasn't the leader anymore. Like, it was just, she ran the show too. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of I was thought less than. Um, and it was never reciprocated growing up. My parents didn't really reciprocate the vulnerability. They would just try to help me through my problem. I
Got it.
I get, and yeah, that's good. Like, I'm glad they were able to help me, but there was never like I didn't know any of our finances. I didn't know any problems that were going on. There was no issues that were shared with us, and I'm very blessed to have that. Like, my parents, I wasn't burdened with their problems. They kept the problems between them two. They figured it out. They solved it, and I'm very grateful for that. But that I think that plays a role into why even now I'm not as I mean, I'm still pretty vulnerable, but not everything. Like, I'm holding things back because I don't know why. Because in the end, too, when you're in a relationship, you want that to be the end goal. Otherwise, what, I'm living this whole life, the rest of my life with this woman who doesn't know my true thoughts, like doesn't know my true self. Like, so now that I'm thinking through it, what 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 am I holding back for? Because the end goal is to be completely vulnerable. If she
Hmm.
doesn't accept my vulnerability now, find someone new who does. So it just speeds up the
Right.
process. I don't have a question after that. I just thought through all that shit, so I'm still kind of
You're good, bro. No, I mean, that makes perfect sense, dude. Like, straight up. That is going to give you the answers that you need on whether or not you're in the right relationship or not, too. You know what I mean? Straight up.
right.
Like, if you're not able to be vulnerable with your significant other, then there's something needs to be addressed, right? Like, you should be able to. Like, that's, I feel like, non-negotiable.
Yeah. And has she? So you guys both got out. I guess I could ask you the same question. Have you
Yeah.
noticed the shift or a light within her? The sense getting out, or just like you said, it's a completely different
She
life now.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's way happier, being out. Like, yeah, no, she hated being in, straight up. Like, I've definitely noticed how much like happier all around she is for sure. Way less stressed, and I'm the same way for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, I see it with her for sure. That's a good example of like why the grass is definitely greener on the other side for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does she help with your business? Does she do her own thing? What's
Yeah, she actually is one of my employees, so she helps me with like sorry, I had to move my cat 'cause she's just like crawling everywhere. She helps me with like the back end stuff, like all that. So yeah, she plays a pretty key role. But yeah, helps out a lot for sure.
nice?
Yep.
The grass is greener. Yeah, this
It sure is, bro.
you said it because I feel the same way, especially now that I've found my new purpose, like my new thing to do in life that's not the military. It
Yeah.
it feels dude, have you ran into the thank you for your service yet?
No.
Like since a veteran? All right. So I went I went to this fundraising event. It was a golf tournament. There was only 4 veterans there. The rest, it was like 80 other people that were all is it white collar where they're just behind the desk like corporate people.
Yeah.
And they had us stand up and applaud the veterans. And dude, I like I said, whole new life. So I honestly kind of forgot about that. Like
Hmm.
it's been almost 3 years for me now. I've like you're like, all right, give a hand. Veterans, can you stand up? And everybody give them a hand. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa, this is what I forgot I'm a veteran. Like, do you still kind of cling on to that? Do you still kind of feel the veteran thing, or have you moved? Like, how far along are you? Have you moved on completely? You still feel that your military is kind of, still new to getting out, I guess.
Um, I think I'm like at that point where I'm like right in the middle. You know what I mean? Like it's not fresh, but I don't think it's like fully sat in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there are days where I mean I still go back to like, damn, should I have gotten out? And then there's other days where I'm like, dude, this is fucking amazing. Like I made the right decision. Like fuck all that. Like it's for the birds, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the same thing. And like you said, dude, the only thing and when I start actually rationalizing it, the only thing I truly miss was the dudes. And for
Mhm.
anybody listening, go to a veteran event. Hop on anything. I'll leave a link down below. Operation Healing Freedom is for Spec Ops guys. They help everything. They provide so much. They think they spent $900,000 last year just to help veterans. But
Yeah.
go to veteran retreats. Like this was the first one I truly went to. I played hockey up north with a veteran team, but I went to this. Dude, I was a golf partner with a command sergeant major. I was talking about this on the last one we just recorded. And it
Mhm.
was like he was just a homie to me. And in the military, I would have never spoke to the guy. Not even a
Right.
little bit. Not I wouldn't have shook his hand, nothing. But we went, got dinner, got a couple beers, went, played golf together, drank a couple beers. Like
That's
you could still find that sense of homie in the veterans. Like, because now we have another thing to come together on. Like it's the military. In the military, we're all like, all right, this shit sucks. Everybody knows what it's like. This is like we all know it's for the birds. And then we get out. Everybody went through a transition. So now we have 2 things to talk about. We have 2 commonalities. And always, dude, how was the transition? It's like, bro, this was fucking brutal, or this was good. Like it's just you. It's the level of respect we have. Like when I walked into this hockey room with all these veterans in it, there was no small talk. There was no getting to know each other. It was just a baseline of respect and understanding of each other. So if
mhm.
you're fiending for that, and not just to talk directly to you, to the listeners too, like go to a veteran event. The veteran events will make you feel at home. Like it's
Yeah.
and in California, I'm sure there's a bunch out there. Have you looked into any of that?
I've looked into some of them. Yeah, I haven't actually like pulled the trigger on anything yet, but I definitely need to start for sure. Get more of
Yeah.
a community of my own, because
Yeah,
my
because
circle is
that's
still very small.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, dude. I'm the same way. Got out. My circle was small until recently. Really, I didn't expand out to anybody because I knew no one would understand, and that's why a lot of veterans take their life. No one we already understand that no one else is going to understand, but veterans do. So in my circle is going to be majority of them. It's just hard to connect on that base level with a civilian and not to separate us so drastically like that. It's just what it is. Like my parents will
Yeah.
never understand this. Like I can't. There's my family, my brother, my sister. No one really. Who am I going to talk to? They don't get it.
No, yeah, exactly. Exactly, brother.
But all right, shit. Is there anything else you want to talk about, man?
Bro,
Oh,
we hit some heavy topics. Yeah, I think as far as like everything, man, probably the most important topic we really hit is like that initial transition out, right?
mm-hmm.
Because it's like, and another thing too is, getting out with a plan, right? Like, if you are to get out of the military, like, a lot of people and so many get out and have no plan whatsoever, right? Like, no income, no, like, no money saved, like, literally no plan, like, don't even know what school we're going to go to, don't know if they're, what job, whatever, right? And yeah, dude, like, that's probably what I'm the most grateful for to this day is that I had something established before I got out, right? So that's why I started my business while I was still active duty, right? Like I pretty much, took this balance that I had because I used to be all Marine Corps, right? And then as I got closer to getting out, I started putting less into the Marine Corps, more into my coaching, right? And then by the time I was out, I was already established, right? So yeah, that's like one thing that I want to announce, let people know about is like just please really, really strategize like your game plan, because that's going to make or break, where you're at when you get out. And, luckily because of that, I didn't have to like feel like I was going backwards by any means. So
Yeah, yeah. That's my biggest mistake. I had no plan, and I didn't even try to find anything. I just my plan to get out was move back home to my parents. And then when that didn't work and I got kicked out of there, that's when I was like, I fucked up my whole life. Like I had everything and now I have nothing. I'm homeless now. What the fuck did what did I do? And it's hard to think because like you're saying, dude, we were fucking 1918 joining, so it's hard to think about what you want to do because you don't know anything about the outside world. You have no idea what it's like. How am I going to think of what I want to do? But you don't need to know the outside. It's almost better that you don't know the outside world. Like we've been preaching it. Do what you want. Start
mhm.
thinking. There's something that you in the army you're thinking, or in the military you're just thinking, man, I wish I was doing this. Go fucking do it. like you have
Straight
all
up.
the resources now. You go to college for anything. There's a plethora of certificates that VA will pay for. Go out and just do it. You could literally do whatever you want, but like you're saying, you have to plan that. I I couldn't imagine where you'd be if you didn't have your business on the side. You'd have to find something completely new. Like that's where I was at. And when you're already sad and depressed about not doing anything like I was, it took me a year and a half, 2 years to figure out what I wanted to do because I'm double sad and depressed because I don't have anything. I had nothing that gave me really any sense of what I wanted to be when I got out. Nothing. And that's like you're saying, dude. It was. I don't know what hell's like, but it felt like that on Earth. That's for damn sure. I
I
just that
feel
shit
that
was
one, bro.
that was tough, but yeah, dude.
So,
Congrats on getting out. Congrats on and thank you for being vulnerable. Congrats on all of it. Uh, life life is not easy, especially getting out. I'm glad you transitioned out. If you need anything, man, let me know. Love to
of
help
course,
out
man.
with the business if there's anything you need. If you want to need anything before you pay for something, I'll
Yeah,
try and give it a go. Learn something. I don't know, but I'd be willing to just lend a hand because, dude,
yeah.
like I said, it's the veteran homies. That's what it's about. Um,
I appreciate that a lot,
and
man.
I got time.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Let's talk more about that for sure. I appreciate that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. But yeah, with that concludes the episode, I think, man. I appreciate again the vulnerability coming on here to talk about it. I'm
Yep, yep.
very, very happy and very grateful that you're still here with us, brother. Very,
Appreciate
very
that.
proud of you for getting through that. It's who knows how many people will be saved through this. I mean, we had 6 people watching, so
Really?
really could have yeah, could have saved anybody even in that hour and a half or whatever it
I
was.
didn't.
So
I didn't even know. I didn't even know people were watching us. Really, that's dope.
well, my bad, dude. Yeah, we go live with it. Um,
Ah, that's sick.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
that's the whole goal, man, is just to create a community to help people. I mean, like you when you were first getting out, that's just somewhere to go where there's other people getting out, other people. You could go somewhere and talk to the people that have gotten out because you're talking to all the people that fucking haven't. So I want it to
mhm.
be the goal is for this to become the main thing military people know and can go to when they're thinking about getting out. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm thinking about getting out. Let me check out Saving 22. Like
it's
that's the
cool.
mission. There's because there's no one fucking dude. I can't believe no one's doing this. It still blows my mind. There's no one
Really?
helping people get out like that. I couldn't find really anything. The VA kind of leads you when you're in the army, in the military. They don't really have a good system for getting you out. You go. I went through a bunch of fucking courses on post. That didn't
Yeah,
help nothing at all. But there was nothing that said, "Hey, here's." I mean, think about it. You get out. You're like, here's a community of 200 people that have gotten out. Go talk to them.
exactly.
A simple one-on-one call could save so many lives just to help people tell people this. Just a simple 30-minute one-on-one call, dude, free. Come on,
Right.
you know? Like
Straight.
that's the goal. So, I appreciate you being a part of that, man. Appreciate you coming on and being vulnerable again and look forward to seeing what else we could do together, especially now that you're out.
I appreciate that, brother, a lot, and it was an honor to be here. Thank you again, my man.
Yes, sir. Catch y'all next time.
All right, Trevor.